and welcome to all of you. My name is Gautam Gupta, and I'm so happy to see so many people joining me today in this Work Better Club session on strengthening your planning skills, right? And I'm really happy. This is our fourth weekend of our Work Better Club, and we are really heartened by all your participation. We have had more than 250 people joining, and I'm sure this will only go up now. Yeah. So thank you so much for taking out time on a Saturday evening and joining me on this journey of trying to improve ourselves and to make our lives and our professionals better. Today we're going to talk about a very interesting topic, which is called strengthening your planning skills. My name is Gautam Gupta, and I represent Work Better Training. Just a quick introduction of myself. Currently, I am the head of business development as the national sales head for Work Better Training. And of course, Work Better, we have been around for 10 years. I have overall about 32 years of corporate experience. Last 16 years, I'm part of the professional corporate training industry. And with Work Better, I have been now full-time with them for last 4 years. Yeah. So currently, as I said, I have two hats. One hat, I play the role of the national sales head, which is to get as much business as possible for Work Better. And the other hat I wear is of that of a master trainer. And of course, I conduct very specific training programs. And this is my first session on our Work Better Club. And I'm really glad to see so many of you, from across the corporate world. I can see a lot of people joining in, still joining in. So welcome to all of you who are still joining in. And I'm looking forward to having a very interesting session and sharing a few thoughts on this particular topic. And of course, sharing a few inputs and thoughts from my experience on this particular topic. Right? So that's what we're going to do. And I'm sure this is a very important topic for all of us, because many of us struggle with this particular topic. Okay. So many times, I've heard, a lot of time when I'm conducting sessions, my team members across various corporates I work, a lot of individuals I work with, they always say, what, I always, have this goal. I want to do this, whether it is personal life, professional life. They have very good ideas, and they really want to see the future. But what happens is that they sometimes are not able to achieve their splendid thoughts and ideas and goals because of this particular issue of probably lack of planning towards it. Yeah. And that is what probably all of you also agree with me, that many a times we all struggle with this, right? How many of you will know, if you can tell me in the chat box very honestly, how many of you really struggle with this, right? And probably you have struggled in your past, or sometimes even now you are struggling with this particular thoughts, right? So quickly, can I get a quick show of hands or a quick yes, that do you all agree that we all are struggling with this particular skill called the planning skills? Great. So many of you have given me a yes. Yes, absolutely right. And even I cannot claim that I can 100%, even though I'm talking about this particular topic, can I claim to be 100% doing the right way? No. But what I do is I try at least, and I try to see as much as possible in my professional life, and to a large extent my personal life. I try to put some of these things into practice, and that's what I'm going to do today with all of you. And I'm going to give you some tips and techniques which will probably help you to possibly, not 100%, but a majority of times, put your plans into action and achieve your goals and achieve your objectives by the simple tips of this planning thing. Great. Thank you so much, all of you, for contributing the yes. Yeah. So before I move ahead, a quick reminder of our norms, or what you say, our ground rules. I'm sure all the regular users or all the regular participants of this Work Better Club are quite aware of these ground rules. But whoever is joining me today new, just a quick reminder to all of you in terms of, a quick reminder to all of you for ease of this session, because there's so many of you, the cameras and microphones have been disabled so that there is no confusion. My request is to please use the chat box as much as possible. And of course, all of you have confirmed to me that you can see me and hear me clearly. That's great. And I will try to be as clear and audible. In case there is some local challenge, I won't be able to do much. But yes, I have my colleague Mitali here with me as always, who will try to support you and give you guidance in case you're getting stuck in any one of the activities, right? This is going to be approximately 60 to 90 minutes session, followed by the after class. I'm sure all of you are aware of the after class, where after the presentation, after my discussion is over, and after we are done with the feedback and the assessment, we will keep it open for Q&A. So you can share your specific challenges, specific thoughts, and I will try to answer them as much as possible. Right? So that's what we're going to do. As I said, use the chat. There will be a couple of things we are going to talk about, or I will ask for your opinion. Please use the chat box and raise hand. A quick thing about the Q&A. I'm sure there will be a lot of questions in your mind. My request is please go to the Q&A and put your question in the Q&A box, which is there in the bottom of your screen, right? It will be difficult for me to keep a track of the Q&As in the chat box. But in case you do, please again go and put it in the Q&A box. Can I answer all of the questions during the session? I will try to take up few questions during the session, but of course I will try to answer most of the questions at our after session. So please park your Q&A. In case I have not answered them during the session, I will go back to them and answer them in the after session. Okay, after class session. Yeah. So that's going to be happening there. At the end of the session, an assessment link will be shared. Mitali would share it on the screen here. My request is go to that link where you have to log in with your user ID and password. And in case you do share and you get a score of above 70%, you will get a certificate of participation from us, right? So that's what's going to happen, right? Thank you so much for all of you. I hope that's absolutely clear. And please use the chat box as much as possible and raise your hand. And of course, the Q&A. That's going to be the way we're going to operate today evening, right? Again, welcome to all of you who have just joined me in the last few minutes. And I look forward to a very, very interesting session and a participation by all of you. Great. So just to quickly remind all of you who have been regular participants of the Work Better Club, this is topic. We are going to be talking about, apart from what we will talk about today as far as planning skills, you will also come across topics of fundamentals of time management, how do I organize my day for success, and working from home, a practical guide. So in case there are certain questions and queries and inputs on these areas, my request is just wait for these sessions to come up, which are going to happen in July, and please go and participate and be present and get all your questions and all your concerns answered there, right? So this is going to be a part of, and all of you are going to subscribe, and hopefully you'll subscribe to the Work Better Club. I'm sure you will keep getting a lot of sessions from the Work Better Club on various topics of concern, which will help you to become a better person, and of course, a better person at work also. That's our goal. That's what we all aim for in Work Better, to make you work better at your workplace. That's what we're going to be talking. Great. So with that quick ground rules and introduction, let's now go into our topic. Okay. And I will start with a very, very famous quote. Okay. And I'm sure many of you are from the corporate world, you would have seen this particular quote, right? And if you fail to plan, then you are planning to fail. What a powerful statement by Benjamin Franklin, right? And I'm sure most of you will agree with this, that a lot of times we have great ideas, great goals, great objectives, but we fail to plan. And if I fail to plan for them, then I'm surely planning to fail. Okay. That's the message we'll start this session with, right? So it's always good idea to give that few minutes or a few hours or a few days to plan what you aim for. Whatever you aim for, whether it is losing weight in your personal life, or probably doing something, want to get that promotion next year, right? Or a project you want to start, right? Or you want to, have a new certification or a new education goal you have. Whatever is your plan, right? Please know you need to put some, whatever your goals and objectives are, you need to put some time to planning it, right? And if I plan better, then you will get a huge amount of success and you can execute that way better. Right? So that's what I would like to start with, this very powerful statement that if you fail to plan, then you are planning to fail. I have already getting some inputs on the chat box. Okay. Okay. Some of you are. Okay. So yeah, Akib and Gilbert, I think your answer, I hope you got your answers on the your earlier ones. Yeah, great. Okay, so moving ahead, let's talk about planning. Let's talk about how. Now, Please understand that we have only about 70, 75 minutes or 80 minutes with us. I can't give you, this is a 2-day training session actually. I'll try to give you some very practical tips, right? Some very, very practical techniques, which will probably be very simple, but very powerful, and which will help you to really achieve your goals. And I'm sure many of these, probably many of you are already aware of. I'll just bring them to the forefront. I'll just bring them. I'll try to make it as simple and go step by step in this. That's what you're going to be doing, trying to understand how do I strengthen my planning. That's going to be our goal. Okay. Now, moving ahead. Yeah. Now, quick question. What is planning then? Okay. What is planning? Can I get a quick response from all of you? Can I get some answers? What do you think according to you is planning then? Right? This is such a common word. We have heard it many a times, but can I get some quick answers on what do you think is planning? Okay, Ashwarya is saying making a task list. Vishwajit, prioritizing and scheduling. Sandeep, Shibu, time-bound things to do. How to organize your tasks. Akib is saying. Bhupal is saying to-do list. Venkatesh is saying timelines. Okay, part of it. Amitesh is saying a path to reach the destination. That's a good one. Sridhar is saying organize tasks as per goals or objectives. Wonderful. Preparation activity, Lavesh. Scheduling tasks before priority wise, Ankit has said. Okay, Madhusudan has given a detailed one. Process of thinking about the activities required to achieve a desired goal. Okay, process of thinking. Okay, that's a good one. Nitin. Forming group of activities for the achievement of goal. Preparation list. Very good. Ideas, how can we execute? Making road towards goal. I think I like that one. Pretty simple. How do I make road from where I am to where I want to reach, and having some kind of a road or a pathway towards that goal. Wonderful. I think great input from all of you. Thank you so much. Yes. So that's exactly what we mean by planning. Okay. Very important. We must understand what is planning. So let me give my thoughts here. Right. What going to ask is simple. I'll try to define it. Planning is the process of deciding in detail how to do something before you actually work on it. Very important. Planning is the process of deciding in detail how to do something before you actually work on it. Yeah. So very important. And it is a process of thinking about and organizing the activities required to achieve a desired goal. Okay. Let's look at some key words and terms here. It's a process of deciding in detail. Now that's where as we say, the devil is in details. And many of us probably just do a very, very surface level detailing. And that probably doesn't really help us to achieve a goal. So very important to become as detailed as possible, right? It's a process of deciding in detail how to do something before you actually work on it. Many of us jump into execution. And I have seen many of my colleagues in my current organization and in earlier organization where we have just said, okay, let's go into it and then we'll discover on the way. I'm not too sure whether that's the right way of going about achieving any goal or objective, right? It is better to probably take some time to plan, to get into detailing, and then you will see the execution become that much easier. So it's very important to be able to get into detailing before you actually work on it. Now, the question is, $1 million question is that can I plan 100%? Right? I cannot. I cannot plan absolutely 200%, but I need to try to plan as much as possible, right? Because I need to get into the execution mode also. So try to get as much detailing before I start my work, right? Whether it is simple, a presentation to be made, or a targets to be achieved, or some recruitment to be done, or any other personal goal, which is financial, monetary, and educational. Whatever you want to work on, please try to get into details before, right? That's very important. Or as simple as, trying to get the best grades in my examination. Even that requires proper detailed planning. Yeah. So next is, it's a process of thinking about and organizing the activity required to achieve a goal. Now, you have decided, but it needs to be put in a proper structure. That's what he said. Whatever you thought about it, you need to put into proper structure. That's why you call it organizing the activities required to achieve a desired goal. They need to be properly structured. Yeah. And that's the structure I'm going to be talking about, that, okay, these are the major things you want to achieve for a particular activity or particular goal. Now, how do I put them into a proper structure, which will help you to then, go forward and achieve those goals and objectives and targets. So that is what we're going to be talking about. Yeah. So important is to detailing before the actual work and organizing your thought process. So before to achieve a desired goal. So three things, right? Deciding in detail before the activity as much as possible, and organize yourself, organize your thought process in a structured manner. Yeah, that's what is the importance of planning. Okay, now I'm going to give you a quick task here, a simple task, quick task, right? It's a good quick exercise. Just take about a minute or two, and I want you to answer this couple of questions for me. Okay, one question only actually. Why do you think why are planning skills so important to your career? Now, it's important to focus on your career, whatever stage of your career are. If you're just starting off your career, or you have spent 25 years in the career and everything in between. Why do you think, planning skills are so important to your career? Okay, I want everybody to give me 3 points, and please in the chat box, write down all the 3 points together in one chat. Okay, don't be hurry. Remember, I said think and then put your points. It's very important for you to think, right? As you said, before you write, think, give it about 30 seconds and 1 minute, and then start contributing and share. Okay. Yeah. So my request is all of you, please go to the chat box and yeah. So I want 3 points, as I said, not one by one. In the same chat, please put your 1, 2, and 3 points. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. Share 3 points. Why do you think planning skills are so important to your career? Yeah. So Venkatesh, Lavish. Yeah. Okay. I've got a first one here. Okay. Dhanish. Vishwajit, structured roadmap so that we are, oops, it's getting too fast here. Okay. So many people are wanting to contribute. Let me try to catch up with you guys. Okay. Control growth to be successful. Krishna is saying achieve goals, the help in achieve goal within timeline. Okay. Organizing. My question, please understand the question. Why are planning skills so important to your career? 3 points. Okay. Jitendra said to achieve goal. Sunita is saying time management to achieve goal in better. Harsh is saying planning helps prioritize, which is very important. Okay. That's one. Okay. I'm not getting all the 3. Chirag is saying to achieve the goals, to decide how much time is required. Okay. Okay. I'm getting Ganesh, balancing family and professional time management, achieve desirable goals. Okay. Planning makes success. Planning makes you focus. Planning will give you a reminder if you're lagging. Okay. That's a good one. Okay. Okay. For growth, to achieve your goal, to develop yourself. Okay. Clarity in thought, adhere to project time, assist execution targets in a better manner. Very good. Okay. Good. To achieve goals in stipulated time, to do better time management, to get more benefit in less time. Okay, Ankit, thank you so much. Nitin is saying it sets our career. Oh, I lost you, Nitin. Natesha ensures structured way of working, complete activity in time. Destination is clear before starting journey. Okay. Yeah. We at least are not probably 100% clear, but there's a, at least we know where we are going. To make us a ready time management, to understand priority. Okay, we'll stumble without planning efficiency, confidence in ourselves. Surajit has said planning helps to draw the roadmap. Okay. Sajid, to achieve our goals, to know what and how to work, to know we are on the right direction. Brilliant. Okay, that's a good one. Okay, good. So I've got a lot of things which you have shared in terms of wonderful. Right. So I think that's exactly many of you contributed towards sharing of why planning is so important. I think planning is very important because I think planning will help you to achieve your short-term, mid-term, and long-term goals. Right? Whether it is the next 1 month, whether it's the next 6 months, or whether it's the next 2 years, it will help you to achieve your goals. And once you achieve your goals, you can have a career progression. Right? Planning also is a very important for leadership. Right? If you're able to plan well, you're able to lead a team well, which will again, make you progress in your career. Planning also gives a lot of motivation because if I'm planned well, I have a confidence to achieve my goals well. And when I achieve them, then I get a lot of motivation and confidence. That also is the benefit of planning, right? So those are various things which I would consider are important, right? Now, a quick question again for all of you is, If you look at the current situation, all of you are in your career, you can give me a very, very small example or a very long-term example of currently what do you think you want to plan for? Okay, what are the goals and objectives you are wanting to plan for? You may not have started them as yet, but something which you really, really want to plan for. If I can get some quick answers here again, right? What is it currently in your career, especially in your professional life, with whatever stage you are, what do you think, something you really want to plan for, right? Because when you're getting to the tips and techniques, maybe you can keep that example in mind, and then I would request you to go have a writing pad or a paper along with you with pen, and maybe you can start, quickly starting working on how to plan that particular goal or that particular objective, right? So can I have some examples of people who are looking at currently plan from smooth transition from pre-COVID to post-COVID situation? Okay, Vishwaji, if you can be a little more specific, complete my CMA degree and CMI degree for career growth. Aditya has said, okay, good one. Okay, yeah. So what are those things currently? Maybe the lockdown impacted it, but post-lockdown, post-COVID, you want to do something, right? Enhancing my skills, move up in ladder. Krishnan, can I get some more specific? What skills? Raise the loan portfolio. Benny, very good. I presume you're in a BFSI organization. Okay. Learning new skills. Nandini, more specific. What is the new skill you want to do? Whether it is, what is the new skill? Venkatesh, smooth transition from pre-COVID to post-COVID for smooth transition. Okay. What can lead and inspire others? Okay. Amrita, you can be more specific. What do you mean by lead and inspire? To what goal? What objective? Six Sigma. Yeah, that's a very specific one. Good. Six Sigma tools. Very nice. Okay. Okay. Bishwajit, planning for improving communication skill. Okay, that's a good one. Digital marketing to cope up with remote connect to customer. Yeah, that's a good one. Digital marketing. Raise organizing my mind. Okay, what exactly organizing your mind means? Communication skills, soft skills. Okay. CSR during COVID. Okay, Gilbert is saying CSR during COVID. Okay, what do you mean? So you want to have a CSR goal. Opening stores in right manner to achieve sale target. Mrityunjay said, very good. Okay, Lalit is saying tasks is pending for last 3 years. We'll plan and complete that in next 1 month. If you can give me one of those tasks. Amulya, I want to head my plant after 5 years. Good, long term. I want to improve my soft skill to handle the plant, short term. Can I give some specific point, Amulya? What is the soft skill you really want to work upon? Okay, plan for public speaking, plan for Sajid has said, very good. Artificial intelligence course, Saurav, very good. Right, so stage daring and confidence, Deepak, okay, good. Stage daring, maybe join some theater group. Okay, and of course, that's a good one. Aishwarya said, plan how much money to save for retirement. I hope, Aishwarya, you have, I don't know what stage of career you are, but I'm sure you got enough time to go about it. Yeah, maybe you can break this into short-term, mid-term, and long-term money to be saved. Okay. So, yes. So, many of you said education, career growth, leadership, financial goals, lot of the other skills. Aditya, new skill like time management, team management, business acumen. Good. Very good. Okay. So, very good examples all of you have given me that what are the areas you are looking to really plan for. Very good objectives, very good goals, but now it's time to now putting them into a action plan, right? Now that's what you're going. So my request is take one of those points which you have highlighted and then let's start building a plan for you while we are going through this exercise. And that will really, really help us. And hopefully by the end of the next 40-45 minutes, you've got some kind of a plan in mind, which will help you to go and achieve it. Yeah? That's the whole idea. Great. So coming back to this question, why are planning skills so important to your career? I have a few thoughts here. Okay. The importance of planning gives you a clear direction. Okay. You know what your end goal is, but it also gives you a path. It gives you a direction. So where I will walk or run or jog towards my goal. So it gives a very clear-cut direction to me, to my team, to everybody who's working with me. Yeah. Second point is it helps you to prioritize your task based on effort and impact. Right. This is a very critical one, and I think many of you shared that when you are contributing. That yes, it helps us to prioritize. There could be 101 tasks which I need to do, but I need to narrow it down so that I can be on my path and which will help me to achieve my goal. I will do away with all unnecessary tasks and focus on the key tasks which will take me towards my goal. And the importance is effort and impact. what effort I need to do so that I can get an impact towards my task and goals. Yeah, that's important. Yeah, then it can help track your progress towards your goal, because during your planning stage, at the time of planning, you would have put some milestones, right? And that will help you to see whether you're on track towards your goals and towards your objectives. So it can help tracking your progress, right? And that's what we all do, right? We have a lot of you understand project management, right? You prepare your Gantt charts, right? You have timelines, you have dates there. And automatically when you write the note there, it automatically from a red, it becomes a green. That means some milestones have been achieved. So it helps to track your progress. Yeah, that's very important. And then it reduces the burden on the brain. That's a very important one. Once I have probably given away detailed, task prioritizing and worked out a detailed plan, then I don't have to go over it again and again. I just need to probably follow what has been written down, follow what I have put into my plan. So it reduces the burden and stress on the brain. I don't have to, at every stage, start thinking again. Because I've already done that in the beginning, I can now reduce the stress and burden on my brain. And lastly, planning your working time can significantly decrease your stress. Yeah. Now, that's why we say that if I spend 80% of the time planning, I would just need 20% of the time to execute that plan. Right? Which means a lot of stress can be reduced, which happens when I do planning on the go. Yeah, some activities will require that. I don't disagree with that. There's some activities, some goals might require planning on the go. But let's try to plan as much as possible in advance, right? So that I don't get stressed out when I'm trying to execute. Yeah. And let me also now here give a disclaimer. Let us not get a victim to planning, right? Let's not become victim to planning, or we say planning paralysis. What do I mean by planning paralysis? Quickly, can I get an input from all of you? What do I mean by victim to planning or a planning paralysis? Some of us get into that planning paralysis. Any idea what does this term mean? What do I mean by planning paralysis, or sometimes we are guilty of getting victim to planning? Yeah? Can I get some inputs? Too much planning. Yes, Harsh says too much planning. Absolutely right. I'm waiting for everything to fall into place. Right? Too much bogged down in planning. Okay, only dreaming. No, that's more than that. Even for small job, we start planning. Okay. Over analysis leads to paralysis. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Right. OCD. Yes. Yeah. Some of us are, have this OCD of I need to get everything in place. Every tiniest thing has to be clear. Only then I and my team will move forward. Yeah. That's what some of us have, that kind of OCD. We wait and wait and wait and then not get started at all. That cannot happen. Nowhere in the world, no successful person, you ask any successful person that you cannot plan for everything, right? So you cannot get 100% right. So you need to then at some point of time say, okay, I've got enough. Let's start the execution, right? Because I cannot get 100%. Absolutely right from all of you. Overthinking, emphasis on planning more than execution. Thank you so much, Sridhar and everybody else. Yeah. So while we cannot plan everything, we cannot get paralysis, but we need to at least give it a good shot. Ensure that I plan properly and try to get as much inputs, right? So that will help us to really achieve our goal and give a clear-cut direction towards our goals. Great. So moving ahead. Now, just as a quick example, I'm sure many of you love cooking in this forum, right? How many of you love cooking? Or how many of you have parents or your better half or your friend or your husband or your wife who are damn good cooks? I know someone who has a son who's a damn good cook, right? And of course, your mother, your father, your grandmother, right? Can somebody give me an example of how do they go about planning their cooking, right? I'm sure some of you have, Nandini, yes. Solomon is a great cook. Thank you so much, Solomon. Oh, wishes I love it. Love eating or love cooking? I hope it is cooking. Tushar is saying, my friend, absolutely right. Now, I'm sure all of you who love cooking, who spend some good time in the kitchen, right? Yes, as Akib is saying, we get all the things that are required in place near the cooking station. I don't cook, but I love watching MasterChef, and as you can see now how everything is put into place, right? Chefs arrange everything they need in their station. They plan first and then execute, right? That's what is important. They plan the recipe and sometimes you'll give that recipe a twist at the end. Probably the dressing, sometimes there's something will come up in your mind. Okay, I've done everything, but let me give the twist. Let me put that extra thing, the zing, which probably will give it a new taste or a new, garnishing. That's where it will help. Okay, I'm cooking, helping to wife. Good, Sandeep. Thumbs up to two thumbs up to you. Absolutely. Yeah. So best example is the culinary industry. Absolutely. So what we all do, whoever are cooking or at least attempt to cook, that we try to arrange everything they need in their station. Okay, whether it is the cutlery, whether it is the ingredients, whether it is the masala, as we say in India, right? All the masalas and all the, all the vegetables, the non-veg, what is that? And of course, some of us rely on our earlier knowledge, and of course, some of us rely on the cookbooks, and now a lot of us rely on the YouTube to give us the exact, ingredients and the way to cook. So we arrange everything and then we go about, executing that dish, right? Sometimes on the way, you probably will change. You probably will add some zing to it, and that will probably, make it better. So as they, French have a word term for it, which is, which means everything in its place. Yeah. So that's what, a lot of people who cook are very particular about getting everything in place before they start cooking, right? They chop and they make things ready. That's the whole idea. So that's what planning as a best practice. The more you do it, the better you get at it, right? And that's how you will be able to really look at your goals, right? Okay, so I've got some more people contributing. Let's see, what are you saying? Okay. What to eat? Sandeep, total chopping done by me before cooking. Okay, I love cooking non-veg dishes. Thank you so much. Yeah, so that's what we say. We all put our everything ready before we kaun se bartan chahiye, what kind of dishes we need. Is it going to be pressure cooker, whether it's a all that. I'm not a cook, so I won't be able to tell what, but yeah, you need to put everything planned for cooking. Great. Yeah, so now that we have understood the importance and why it is important and what we need to do, let's now go into some of the tips and techniques for the how do I create an effective plan. Yeah, how to create effective plans. Let's talk about that, right? Yeah. Now, again, let me remind you, whatever that one idea or that one goal or objective you have thought in your mind, please put that on a pad and a paper right now. And now let's start seeing whether we can put some of these into effective plans for you to achieve those goals. Whether it's a short-term goal, mid-term goal, or a long-term. Take only one of them. Yeah, just take one of them. And then together, we'll try to see whether we can create an effective plan. Okay, now, first one, we are going to talk about a 4-step planning framework. Okay, I'm going to give you 4 steps in how do I plan whatever goal objective I want to do in my professional life, especially, right? I want to achieve something in my professional life. Many of you said, I want to become a team leader. I want to head the plant. I want to improve my communication or my soft skills. I want to, achieve my targets and goals, right? I want to get that promotion next year. Right? All these are corporate goals which all of you have. So let's look at these 4-step planning framework. Yeah. What are the 4 steps? The first step, very, very important. If I don't get this step right, everything else will falter and fail. Is define your end goal and objective. Right? Defining it very clearly is very important. And this is where a lot of us sometimes struggle. That we don't define it clearly. What is my end goal? What is my objective? Right? Once I've done that, and I'll go into more detail of that, then we go to creating subtasks and set milestones. And I'll give you, we'll work on one common example which will be familiar to all of us, and we'll try to see, and then you can work on your example, your goal, see that you can put that, right? So create subtasks and set milestones, right? I have a large goal, I need to break it down into subtasks, right? And set milestones, okay? When will I finish this? What am I required to do this? Yeah. And once I set the milestone, I'll try to identify my contingencies, right? What probably will come in the way, right? What is it that possibly could be a spoke in this plan, right? What could go wrong? Possibly, if you can identify as many, you will not get all of them because some problem, something will happen on the way of execution. But beforehand, if I can start preparing of the contingencies, what can go wrong? What is it that probably I don't know? If you can probably get that, then it will make your plan rock solid, or at least as solid as possible, right? Identifying contingencies is something, again, a lot of people don't do in the beginning, right? Try to understand as much contingency as possible in the beginning of the planning stage, right? Before execution. And lastly, set up monitoring, evaluation, and updating mechanism, right? You need to set up a monitoring and evaluating mechanism. This possibly is going to help you to keep going back and forth, and that will help you to make those corrective measures as you go along in execution, right? So first of all, define your end goal and objective, create subtasks and set milestones, identify contingencies, and monitor, evaluate, and update. Yeah. Now, this is a structure I'm giving you, a framework I'm giving you guys, right? So please understand that you might be very, very crystal clear for some goals and objective. In some goals and objective, you might not get all the 4 steps. I'm okay with that. But as far as possible, take your goals, take your targets, take your objective through this 4-step process. Always, 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 right? If I can do that, then my planning will become that much sharper, right? My planning will become that much predictable. Remember, predictable. I need to be able to have a predictability to my goals and objectives, right? And that is what will get you success. Right? Many of you are in the corporate world, you do projects, you are into sales, you are looking at targets, some of you are in training, you're looking at developing content, some of you are into manufacturing, you are trying to improve the quality, you are trying to reduce the cost, some of you are in marketing, go-to-market strategy, digital marketing. There's so many things which you are planning. Right? But if I can go make all of these goals and objectives through this 4-step process, then the chances of success are far higher for you. Right? Can I get 100% success despite all this? Absolutely no. But can I improve my chances of achieving my goals and objectives? Definitely yes. Right? So that's what you need to do. Okay. So let's go to one by one in this step-by-step 4-step process. Okay. Let's go to step 1. Okay. Step 1 is defining my end goal. That's very important. I need to define my end goal. And a lot of times we don't achieve the goal because we are not able to define the end goal. What is it that we want to achieve in a very crystal clear manner? We have a vague idea, right? Sometimes we have a very vague idea, but we need to then bring it down to absolutely crystal clear. Let's look at that step now, right? Defining your end goal and objective. Yeah, let's look at that. What does that mean? And I'm sure many of you heard of this, that to help me define my end goal and objective, I need to put them through what we call as a SMART filter, right? The SMART filter. Many of you would have heard this in your earlier training programs, but I would like to again bring it back in our SMART planning. Okay. So I need to define my end goal and objective. Before I start planning, do I know my goal and objective clearly? Have I been able to define it? And this SMART technique helps me to define my end goal and objective, right? I'm sure many of you are aware of this. Can I get a quick reply to this SMART? One fastest finger first. Who will give me the full form of all these 5? Quickly. What does SMART mean? Okay, Vishwaji, specific, measurable. I only got 2. Vishwaji is actionable. Okay. Realistic and time bound. Yes, Vishwaji. Wonderful. Very good. Thank you so much. Yes. Vishwaji got really fast on the fastest finger first. Thank you so much. Yes. All of the rest of you also. Rajiv, Manisha, absolutely right. Yeah. Now, SMART is nothing but it's a very good technique to probably help you to define your end goal and objective, right? And let's get into the specifics of it. So first thing, your goals have to be very specific, right? Your goals have to be very specific. And they must be measurable. What does it mean? That from where you are and where do you want to go? So I can have a goal that this is what I want to do, right? But I need to have certain numerical measurables. So measurable is all numerical, all quantitative, right? I need to have some quantitative data to tell me that from where I am and where I do want to go, right? If I take a sales example, that currently I am doing 80% of my annual target, I need to go to 110% in the next 6 months. So that's I want to overachieve my target. That's a specific goal. But I need to have measurable, that from a 80% to a 110%. That becomes a measurable goal because I have some quantifiable data to measure, right? That's how you set goals and that's how you define goals, right? If you want to work on your, you want to become a leader or team leader, then I need to have certain timeline to it, okay, certain measurables to it, right? So I need to become a team leader in the next, 1.5 years. Currently, I'm an individual contributor, right? So that 1.5 year becomes a measure, right? Today, I'm an individual contributor. Next 6 months, I want to do this. And the next 1 year, I want to do this. That will help me to become a team leader. So I'm putting some measurables, right? Third is it attainable? Yeah, I cannot have a very fantastic goal, that in the next 2 months, I will do this. It has to be attainable. It has to be achievable. It cannot be a fantastic idea, right? It cannot be very generic stuff. It has to be attainable and relevant to the organization. Now, a lot of times, sometimes our personal goals are in tangent with the organizational goal. I need to be able to say that, okay, my career goals have to be in sync with my organization goal, with my team goal, with my leader's goal also. If I want to upgrade myself, I want to get certification, I want to add some, new courses, I want to upgrade my skills, that has to be in sync with something. It cannot be done in isolation, right? Unless you are wanting to do a career change, unless you want to quit your career and start something on your own, that's fair enough, right? So as long as you are working in an organization, it has to be relevant, right? It has to be relevant for your own career growth, and it has to be relevant to the organization you are working or the career you want to pursue. Yeah, it has to become relevant. Yeah, and of course, it has to be time bound. It has to have some kind of a timeline. You cannot have a 5-year plan. It has to be. Nowadays, there's nothing called a 5-year plan. Today in the COVID situation, we are not even too sure about how the next 3 months will go ahead. But yeah, I'm sure we'll all come out of this COVID situation, and we're all going to be looking at long-term plans. But I think that long-term has become shorter. I think today probably the long-term is not more than 2 years probably, because the world changes so rapidly that you really cannot have such a long term, right? So you need to put some timelines to your goals. So number one, it has to be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and it has to be timely. It has to be having the right time frame given to it. Yeah. So that's the step number one. Now let's try to have some example which will help us to understand. And I'm trying to take a very generic example because I cannot take any specific, because all of you are from different industries, different background, different professions. So we are trying to make a very generic example which will help you to understand this particular stage very well. And we'll use the example completely. Okay, Manoj has raised a hand. Manoj, you have a question regarding this. Let me try to see. Manoj is saying something. Yeah, any example for relevant goal? I'll come to that. Sajid, I'll come to that. Yeah. Okay. Okay, just hold on. I'll try to give it example here. Okay, so the example which I'm going to use is this. Now, this is going to be an example throughout our 4-stage parameters or 4-stage planning technique. So the example is organizing a great offsite for senior managers. Now, what does an offsite mean? That we need to take our senior management to an offsite location, to a location where they need to have a strategy meeting for planning the post-COVID situation. Let's take that as an example, or planning the rest of the year goals and targets, right? So we need to organize a great offsite for senior managers where they need to, so what else are they? So how is this a great goal objective smart? How do we make it smart, right? Organizing a great offsite for senior managers. Now, what does that mean? We need to take a group of senior managers. If I'm part of HR or part of L&D, I need to take my senior management has said, you know what, we have been under a lot of stress for the last 3 to 6 months. Let's have a collaboration, team building, and a strategic leadership session outside the office. And we don't want to be in the city. We need to go outside the city. Okay, not more than 4 hours. Not inside the city, so that we can reduce the travel time. I understand that currently in COVID situation, we can't go anywhere, but we are assuming that, okay, it's a normal scenario, normal situation, and we would be able to go to a resort, we will be able to go out of town and take a group of people. So I'm looking at the post-COVID situation. So don't hold me to the, how can you go for offsite? It's an example. So don't hold me to it, right? So organizing a great offsite for your senior manager, that's the activity. Now, is that a smart goal? Is that a smart objective? Now, may not be. It's an objective, but let's try to make it smart. Let's see how can we make it smart. Okay. Now here I'm trying to attempt to use my SMART technique into this particular goal objective. Now, specific, is it specific? How many senior managers or how many days? When is the offsite? What is the budget? Okay, that will give specificity to it, right? I need to know. So we need to take a X number of managers for so many days, on a particular date and with this kind of budget. That makes it a specific, right? Now, how do we measure if we achieve the goal? That we have to ensure that how do I know that this offsite is successful? Okay. Is it possible to organize the offsite for specified number of senior manager within the budget? Attainable. Okay. Now I'm trying to say that if I've been given this specific budget, can I do it? Right. So is it attainable? Is this relevant to the company? Yeah, of course it is relevant, because probably I think it's time that we get people together in an outside location, which will help them to get them thinking, get them to bond together, get them to collaborate and come up with a new strategy for the organization, right? So it is relevant, okay? And by when do we need to achieve this goal? When is the offsite taking place? So the timelines. So that is what we are looking at, putting it as a SMART goal. So what is a SMART goal? Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timeline. Now let me see whether I can put this. Yeah, Rupa, I'll just check. If you have a question, I'll just come back to you. Let me see. Now let me see if I can make it a SMART plan or make it, filter it to the SMART, framework. So to organize a memorable 2-day offsite for 20 best zone senior managers in Goa for the last week of October within the budget of 3.5 lakhs. Okay. Now, is it SMART? Is it specific? Yes, the goal is specific. It highlights the number of attendees, number of days, when it will take place, and the budget. Okay, so it is specific. Okay, it doesn't talk about we will organize excellent, offsite. We are getting into specificity. That helps. So I need to get specific. So if I don't get that data, can't even start. If I don't get this data, I can't even start the whole planning process. Right? So it has to be specific. Now, measurable. In this scale, what is the measurable? If a memorable offsite is organized within the budget while meeting the deadline, it will consider success. When they come back, say, oh, wow, what a fantastic time we had. It was so well prepared, so well organized. Congratulations to the organizing committee. That's the measurable, right? So if a memorable offsite is organized within the budget and while meeting the deadline, it will be considered a success, right? So within the budget, measurable. It is a memorable offsite, maybe feedback from the management post the session, and that will be the measurables. Yeah. Yes, the goal is attainable because of the information which is there in the specific, right? It is, the budget is probably good and we have enough time, so it is attainable. Is it relevant? Yes, it is relevant, as a memorable offsite will help in team building and increase employee morale and possibly come up with a new strategy for the organization. Yeah, so it is relevant. So that's why probably we'll go ahead and do it, right? And of course, it is timely, as the offsite must take place in the last week of October. Yes, so I have put a timeline to it. So today we are in the end of June. I have a 4 months timeline, and hopefully by that time, probably I will have the lockdown also done with. I will be allowed, probably we'll take precautionary measures and go for this offsite. Yeah. So here I have attempted to put the entire objective and goal into a SMART plan. I have filtered it out. So if any one of this is missing, then I need to go back to my management, go back to my HOD and try to get this information. Yeah. So this is how I go to the first stage of making it specific, right? So I need to make a specific goal. Okay. Some of you have raised your hands. Is it a question or is it a... Okay. Mahesh says no. I don't know what is the... okay, Sandeep is saying yes. Okay. Okay. In case, let me quickly remind all of you that we will have a after class session, which will be specifically dedicated to all your Q&As, and I'll try to answer all your questions in that particular time. So after the session is over, we'll have a dedicated time for your Q&A. So if you have any question, please put it in the Q&A section. Yeah. Okay. So that's the first part of our, trying to, plan and taking through a SMART goal setting, right? It has to be very specific. That's what we have discussed in our thing. Okay. Any questions here? So first, what we have done is we have defined your end goal using the SMART technique. Very important. Now, whatever goals and objectives you selected, while we are discussing, you can start putting into the SMART plan. And most important part of the SMART plan is the first one, S, specifics. You need to get specifics. If you don't get specifics, probably it'll just be a wishful thinking. And that's not what you want for your goals. Your goals have to be achieved. You need to start progressing towards your goal. But the first step is to get a clear idea, what do you want to achieve? And very, very specific and measurable. Yeah? With timelines. Yeah? Am I able to, give me a quick yes if you are able to understand the first step, guys? Can I get a quick yes if the first step is clear? Yeah? Very good. Thank you so much, all of you. Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, whoever has raised a hand, if it is a question, my request is put your question in the Q&A and I'll be more than happy to answer them, later. Okay, now let's go to, once we have defined our end goal, now is the next step of creating subtasks and setting milestones. Okay, now I need to get the nitty-gritties. As we go into what you call the devil is in the detailing, right? Now I will go into the detailing part. So let's go into our detailing part. Now next step is to break the task into subtasks and set milestones. Okay. Now what do I mean by that? So list out everything you need to do. That is your task, right? What all I need to do to achieve that goal, right? If I want to get that certification, if I want to get that promotion, if I want to develop that project, if it is about, improving my manufacturing process, it is about, hiring this kind of people, or it is about, having a process document, I need to say what all I need to do. That is your task for achieving my goals. So list out everything you need to do. That is your task, right? And try to break it down in as much detail as possible, right? As I said, do not get victim of trying to do everything, but try to break it down to as much as possible. List out everything you need to do. That is your tasks, right? And arrange the task in a logical order, right? In a sequential order, or in an order where, okay, these are things which I will do first, and then second, and then third, and then later and later and later. Okay. So whether it's one activity or a bunch of activities, what will I do first, second, third, later? Okay? Arrange the task in a logical order. Okay, because you cannot jump start to the third stage without doing the first stage, right? If I want to go for higher education, I need to first look at my financial or the college I want to go to, right? So that's very important. First, I have to identify which college or which institution is providing that particular budget and go for the, probably taking a loan. So arrange the task in a logical order, right? That will give you some clarity of going step by step. Yeah. Next is, of course, break each task into subtasks. Now again, going into the detailing and write down action points for each. Assign realistic deadlines to each by planning backwards. Yeah. So break it into subtasks and write down action points for each of these and assign timelines and deadlines. Okay. Today we are on the 27th of June and you want to do something. So what will you do end of June? What will you do end of July? What will you do by probably September? And because you want to achieve this goal by January of 2021, right? So assign realistic deadlines, right? You can't say I'll do it in the next 2 months. It cannot happen, will not happen. That means you are starting in the wrong footing. Yeah? So assign realistic deadlines to each by planning backwards. Yeah, that's what you need to do. Yeah, and list the resources required and quantify them. Now, what do I need to be able to do all of this stuff? Do I need someone's help? Do I need some resources? Do I need some input? Do I need this? Do I need that? What are the resources required and quantify them by how much? Quantifying is a very, very important task, right? What all do I need and in what quantity do I need? So list the resources and quantify them. Okay, so I've got some people asking me some questions. Let me see if there are any questions here. Can we go back to step 1 again, please? Okay, I'll come back. I'll summarize this. Okay, step 1 was simple as, okay, for the benefit of person who's asked this question, I'll just quickly go back. The step 1 was define your end goal. Okay, define your end goal. Solomon, I hope you got that now. Yeah. Yeah. Harshit, you rightly said, like work breakdown structure in project management. Yes. So I'm not going into technicalities of project management. I'm trying to make it simple that all of us can understand this in more clearly. Yeah. So step 2, breaking the task into subtasks and set milestones. Now let me see, let's go back to our example of organizing that offsite for our senior managers. I hope you remember that, and go back to your goal. Okay, let's see whether I can now. Oh yeah, sorry, last one. Add milestones that indicate completion of a task. Now we must put some milestones. Milestones are that, I'm sure all of you have gone to a road trip, and there's 100 miles from here to your end journey, and you're going by a road. You're going by car. Now we always keep out, look out, either on that board which tells us 20 miles or 40 miles, or 80 miles. So we are keep crossing, and that encourages us that we are moving forward towards our goal. So it's important to add milestone to all our subtasks and major tasks, because that gives the achievement, a sense of achievement that we are crossing the milestone and we are coming closer to our end goal. So put milestone, which will help you to understand the completion of a task. Okay, great. Okay, so those are the 5 steps where you will get into the detailing of breaking the task into subtasks and setting milestones. Okay, now let's go back to our example, what we were doing. So break the end goal into tasks. To organize a memorable 2-day offsite for 20 pesos. So that was our task. That was our goal. Yeah. So now I'm going to break it into various subtasks. Okay. So for a successful offsite, I need to look at the venue, transport, food, drinks, entertainment, and some miscellaneous activities. Right. So those are my 6 subtasks. Right. So I need to then, or you can add some more. But these are the 6 major ones. The venue, all things related to the venue, all things related to transport. Remember, these are senior managers, so I have to be very careful about the venue. I have to have reasonably good transport facilities. Food has to be very carefully managed and taken into account. Of course, some drinks has to be there because we'll be spending a couple of evenings there. Some entertainment apart from the team building, apart from strategy session. I need to have proper entertainment for the team, and some miscellaneous activity which is not part of these 5 sections. Right? So I'm breaking it down into the subtasks. Yeah? So break the end goal into tasks. Now I can go further into this and break each task into subtasks. Now let's look at the food part. Yeah, let's look at the food part. Yeah, any thoughts? What could be the subtask for the food part? Quickly, anybody would like to share? What would be the subtask if you are organizing this offsite, taking your senior managers out? What would be the subtask for food? Okay, let's have some thoughts. Veg, non-veg, number of people, menu, yeah, starters, yes, timing of food, choice of food, quantity, healthy. We have vegan and non-vegan these days, cuisine, quantity, yes. So these are some of the things which you will probably look at. Yes, budget, yeah, of course, food ka budget. We have got, yeah. So what is the budget per plate you will have to have? Because you consider that probably it's over, we're going to be staying for 2 nights and 2 days and 1 night. Okay, dividing some maybe Jain, yes, of course, yes, Mahesh. And today we have a lot of people who are vegan and who are a little careful about their lactose thing. All that is there. Yes. So yeah, okay. So utensils. Oh, we are assuming, yeah, desert. Yes, and yes. So yeah, we are assuming that we're going to a place where utensils would be available. So I'm not taking utensils into mind. We're not going to a forest and we don't have to do our self-cooking. But what we will look at is probably a few things like this. Identify food preferences, get venue permission for outside food in case we are taking our own food, check food packages at venue, maybe at the arrival time, there will be requirement for a refreshment at the arrival time, and approval of the food menu by the team and by the participants. Okay, so these are some of the sub-tasks which I will have to my major task of food. Yeah. Okay, now we'll go further into this and details to subtasks. So I started with a major task. I went into the subtask. Now I'm going to add further details to the subtask. See how my plan is now coming to my shape, right? It's a visually I can see my plan coming up, right? Now venue. Okay, now I'm going from task, subtask, and details in form of criteria and action point. So venue, I need to look at research, recce, approval from HR head, and payment, whether I have to give some advance, how much advance. So that's subtasks, right? Each one of them require a certain activity. Now, for research, I need to look at accessibility, budget, quality of rooms, and amenities. So when I'm researching on the resort or the place, I need to take my senior managers. I have to keep into mind all of this. When I'm doing research for the venue, I need accessibility, budget, quality of rooms, and amenity which are available. Yeah, because we can't have, a very bad area, because remember, these are senior managers. I need to have some comfort, may not be all the comfort, but some comfort where they can relax and have a good time along with doing what what they have come there for, right? So you're seeing how the task is now getting into subtask and getting into details in form of criteria and action point, right? So this is how we break it down. Yeah, this is how we divide the task into subtasks and add some actionable. Okay, I've got some people asking me, I guess, some questions or contribution. Quality of taste, that will be a tough one. Yeah, some snacks on the way. Yeah, maybe you have to, while you're going for 2 hours or 3 hours, you need to have what. So this is a venue. That was for food. Okay. Yeah, for food, you have to divide them: food at the venue and food on the way to the venue. Yeah, that could be another subtask. Yeah. So venue, yeah. So we'll come to that. So yeah, you can look at number of single and double occupancy room. Yes, that could be the call. That could be the another. You could add another part to the subtask. So details in form of criteria and action point. Yeah. Am I clear here, guys? Am I getting the clarity? I hope I am giving you the clarity of what I'm trying to achieve here. Is it making sense? Is it making sense? Am I making sense? Okay, wonderful. Thank you all. Yeah. So now what I'll do is, now I will try to make it a proper example of, yeah. So now we assign deadlines to subtask. Food, identify food preferences or attendees by 5th July. Venue permission for outside food, 8th July, 13th July, and 15th July. So what have I done? Now I have assigned deadlines. So I've got the entire plan of action for the food item or the food task. Similarly, for venue and for transportation and all other things, I can create this kind of a detailed plan. Right? So this will probably give us of course, are we complete? No, we're not yet complete. We just crossed the second part of our planning stage. Yeah. Okay, moving ahead. Then we look at list resources required. So, sorry, I missed something. Okay, so assign deadlines subtask and then list resources required, right? So subtask could be, when we are there, we look at the team building activity, a motivational talk, and after party, right? So whatever I have these, I need to look at what resources I need for each one of these subtasks, right? For the team building activity, what are the items required, how much quantity, of course, for the motivational speaker, the person concerned, how much of open space, mic, all the, do I need a stage, do I need an auditorium, a conference room, with what amenities and what facilities, and for the after party, the DJ, speaker, lights, all the other, entertainment or games. So these are the various things I would do so that I know what are the resources required for each one of these subtasks. Yeah. So that is what is my second stage of my plan. Yeah. So what we have done is till now covered 2 steps: defining my goal and creating subtasks and set milestones. Yeah. So that's what we have covered in our step 1 and step 2. Any questions here before we go to our next step? Any questions here? Voice very slow. Okay. Is that a problem with rest of you also? Voice very slow or low? I don't know what you meant by that, Babulal. Okay, am I clear? You're audible? Okay. No one can hear. Oops. Is that so? Voice is clear. Thank you so much, all of you. I think some of you are facing a voice issue. Then please, yes, there is no voice. Oops. What is the issue? I think a couple of you, you're audible, clear. Okay, so I think whoever is facing an audio, please check your network or your, if you're having a headphone, or please check your audio, please. Thank you so much, all of you, for confirming. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay, any question till now on our 2 steps: defining an end goal through SMART technique and creating subtasks and setting milestones and organizing resources? Any questions here? In case you don't want, am I crystal clear here? Have I been crystal clear till now? Step 1 and step 2? In every training or every such session, there are only 2 things. Either you have understood everything and it is crystal clear, or you have not understood anything and that's why it is crystal clear. I hope it is the first one. Yeah. Okay, crystal clear. Okay, I hope the first one crystal clear. Not all clear. Good. I like that. Good. Thank you so much. Okay, now that we have understood the first two steps and the most critical step, the more time you can spend on step one and step two, I think you will have a much clearer path towards the achievement of your goal. Right? But are we done here? No, we're not done. We need to have this third and fourth stage also. What is the third stage? Let's look at that. Let's look at the third stage. Okay. Third stage is identifying contingencies. What could be the possible, challenges or contingencies or problems which could crop up, right, in this entire plan, in this entire goal. And that's what we call is, do we have any kind of a plan B or a plan C, right? So that will help. That will only come up if I'm able to identify the contingencies or the bottleneck or some kind of a problem which can happen while I'm executing the various tasks, right? So identifying the contingency is very important. So with your team, you can probably brainstorm over and think of everything that can go wrong for each of the subtasks, right? If you can get some kind of a, with your team when you sit down to plan this activity, that what could go wrong in food, in the venue, in the transportation, in whatever else, right? Analyze the impact it will have on your timeline and task. If you feel that there is a contingency which could happen, then what impact will it have on the overall task and the timeline? Because if it is going to impact the timeline, that means you need to take a counter action and a backup plan ready, right? You need to have some kind of a backup plan which will help you to either go back to the planning, the first stage, and probably have that extra time, or put some extra time because of contingent. Now, we understand now the monsoons are there in the country, right? And especially people who stay around Mumbai and western region, monsoons can get very heavy, right? And that could be a contingency plan if you've identified a location which is about, say, 4 hours or 6 hours from Mumbai. Then there could be a contingency plan of the rains coming in heavily. So does that impact the task? Does that impact the timeline? Do I need to go back and put some extra time or a backup plan? Right? That is what we look at, identifying the contingencies, right? Now, whatever goal you are doing, whatever corporate target you are wanting to achieve, whatever your goals are which you have identified, see what can go wrong, right? And go back to your planning stage, go back to your specific, go back to your smart plan, and probably take a counter action or a backup plan. If this doesn't happen, or if this happens, then what is my backup plan? Right? So it's very important to probably have a backup plan so that you can plan accordingly and you can go forward in your task and go forward towards your goal. So that's very important to identify the contingencies. Now, let's look at, in our example, identify what could go wrong and plan for it, right? So we have identified the task, the food task, the subtask, and the deadline we have put, right? Now, what could go wrong? Now, when I brainstorm with our team, attendees may not submit food preferences by due date. We'll need to send reminder. Yeah, this is going to happen for sure. Till the last minute, you will not get the, because I'm sure senior managers are very busy, right? We'll need to send reminders. When you may have limitations, they have to identify nearby restaurant for meals. Now, there could be a possibility that, when you reach the venue, they may not be ready because you have a lunch or American plan where only a proper buffet lunch is available, not any kind of snacks is not available. So maybe you have to look at on the way restaurant for the breakfast or the snacks. So that's one limitation, right? May not find shops near venue. Okay, so that could be the other part. Yeah. Oops, sorry. So buy chips and snacks for after party. May not find shop near venue for the same. Should buy wherever possible. Either when you start your journey from wherever you are, get your thing, because maybe the hotel will not provide that, or the resort may not have it, or it might be very exorbitantly expensive there. So you might as well take and get permission from the hotel to get your own stuff. So these are some of the contingencies, something which can go wrong. So let's have that as part of the plan, right? And which can create a backup. If this thing is not available, then I have a backup to make it available. Yeah. Okay, Shantanu has raised a hand. Let's see what Shantanu wants to share. Shantanu, do you want to share something? Late transport. Yes, a limited menu available. Yes, Nitin, absolutely right. Yeah, Vishnuji said, October being a festive month, lot of employees may prefer. Yeah, okay. Vishnuji, yeah, but that will come right in the beginning, right? Not at the stage of this particular stage, right? We are saying that we have finalized the October date. We have got an agreement from all the senior managers. Now, going forward, what could be a backup plan? So we are trying for each of the sub tasks. We are looking at a backup. We are taking into consideration that all the management has agreed for October. Yeah. If October is a question mark, then the whole plan falls flat. We not even, so that's not going to, it's not going to fly at all. Yeah. So for each of the tasks, there is food, transportation, venue, you can possibly have identify what could go wrong. Yeah. Okay. So that's an example of what identifying the contingencies, putting them down, and possibly working out a backup plan. Now go back to your goal which you have identified and try to identify what could go wrong, right? What could go wrong in the stage by stage, execution of the task, right? And then see if you can you bring up a backup plan. And the backup plan could also mean probably changing the date. The backup plan could also mean that, okay, doing this, right? So rather than giving up the goal, backup plan is not about giving up the goal or delaying the goal. The backup plan is how do I have a plan B or a plan C which will take me forward towards my goal. That's what a backup plan is, right? That's what you identify the contingencies, and then you see, okay, what do I need to have a backup plan? Yeah. Okay. Have I made myself clear in this particular stage? Any questions here? Any question? Okay, now a lot of us are not able to identify the contingency. This is where we have a challenge, right? We don't put our enough time and effort in identifying what could go wrong, right? It could be financially, it could go wrong. It could be about time. It could be about team. It could be about external condition. It could be internal conditions. It could be many things which could go wrong. Now, I can't predict everything that can go wrong. I agree. But if you can predict as much as possible and then put down a backup plan, that will really make your plan very much stronger, right? So try to make, as much possible, identify the contingencies and try to create a backup plan. Okay, great. So there are no questions and everything is crystal clear. Then let's go to our last step, which is our monitoring, evaluating, and updating. Okay, let's look at that. Now, while I have defined my end goal, I have created tasks, subtasks, put milestones, and identify contingents. I've done that. Now, the fourth and the critical part again is to be able to, as part of my planning, have a monitoring and evaluating mechanism, right? And update that if required as we go along, right? So let's look at the monitoring and evaluating and updating stage. Okay. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, it's very important for us to have that, okay, are you on track? Are you making progress as per the plan? Okay. How much of your plan did you complete, right? If you had, okay, if you wanted to possibly, become the head of the plant, okay, or you want to get that certification, or you wanted to improve your public speaking skills, right? Whatever you have told me, in the beginning. Now, I put my plan. I've identified a contingency, but okay, contingency I'll not focus on. Whenever a contingency comes up, I will take my plan B. But here I'm assuming that everything is going as per your plan. But I need to have a monitoring mechanism. How will I know whether I have been able to achieve it? I put milestone. Remember, I put my milestone. So how much of your plan did you complete? Are we, how close or how far away I am from my milestone? Right? How much of your plan did you complete? You're going to be, you have to put that into plan. Then are you on track? Are you making progress as per the plan? So while I'm executing, so when I put my plan, I need to put my monitoring mechanism also as part of my plan, right? And the one important way to do that would be your timelines, your milestones, right? Okay, by end, so going back to our plan or going back to your goal, okay, by end of July, I should have done this thing. And I do a check. Okay. How many milestones have you crossed? Right? From now to next year, March, when I wanted to become a team leader, what all I have done, I sat down with my supervisor and I've told him, boss, I need to become the team leader of my team. And I need to be given tasks by you so that I can prove to you that I am worthy of the team leader position. So give me tasks. I want to handle certain aspect. So this is my plan. So by July end, you would have done one project or one activity which tells your manager that you have been able to showcase to him your team leading capability, right? Or the certification you want to achieve, right? So you need to put how much of your plan did you complete? How many milestones have you crossed? And of course, the other things. Are you meeting your deadlines or lagging behind? Are your goals realistic? Did you do something different from your plan, but more effective? Have you identified additional tasks that are slowing down your progress? Yeah. So these are something which will help you to track. Now, many of this, it can be part of your initial plan, and many of this could be part of your execution also. As you're progressing, you need to see. But if I say, if you are going to be discovering these while executing, then you might be having a blind side. It's important that you put all of this at the time of planning in the beginning itself, and then keep ticking off this as you progress along, right? So that's why timelines and milestones and sub actions and resources are all part of this. So if you have done all this, then you can keep ticking, which will help you to progress. Yeah. Yeah. And of course, some part of your monitoring and evaluation is decide what you need to do next. Is it more? Yeah. Or something different? Do you need to take any other support or take any other external support? Yeah. This is what you need to be as part of your monitoring and evaluating. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Any questions here? Oops, sorry. Yeah. Any questions here? So very important that we set the monitoring mechanism when we are doing. Okay. I have a suggestion from someone here. Arunima says, okay. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else has any other thoughts? Yeah, do check. Yeah. So I think one very important part which we can help us to keep track is that you could have a daily check or a weekly check. Right? Some you can have a every morning check. Okay. That we set aside time. That every evening or every week on a Friday evening, I'm going to go back and check about what is the progress I made on my major task, on my sub task, and the sub tasks. Right? That will help you to evaluate. Right? How far, how close I am. What is the bottleneck I'm getting? Why am I not progressing? That will help you to take action to bypass that bottleneck. So it'll help you to progress. Yeah. So you could have a daily schedule where you evaluate your tasks, right? Whether you are doing a small project in the office or you're trying a career plan, for everything you need to have a set time for evaluating and monitoring. It cannot be done, okay, whenever I get time. No, but allocate time for your monitoring and evaluating, right? And it could be a daily monitoring for your office tasks, or it could be a weekly monitoring or a monthly monitoring for your life goals and your career goals. Whatever you have set your goals, you need to have a set time to evaluate. Right? So you need to make it as a part of your plan that I will on this particular day or this particular last day of the week or the last day of the month, I'm going to sit back, give 30 minutes and evaluate where I am. Right? How I have progressed. What are the bottlenecks? What resources do I need? Right? And not to go back in my plan, but this whole activity is to go forward in my plan, go forward in my execution. Right? So you need to set a absolute timely mechanism and a set day and set time to evaluate on a regular basis. Yeah. So this will help you to have a strong grip. You can really be in grip of your plan. You can really in grip of your execution. If I'm able to, and maybe if you need, you can seek some external support to evaluate with you. You can have some of your mentors or some of your coaches or some of your seniors or some someone professional friend who can help you in this evaluation and monitoring. Because sometimes when we are too close to our plan, we tend to get blindsided and we tend to take a very too much of optimistic thought process about action. We need a third eye. We need a third party to possibly set us on the right track. So if I bring them in that set monitoring time or evaluation time of my progress, I will get a very clear-cut input, which will help me to sharpen the entire planning process and execution better. Right? So whoever that person is, if you can do it yourself, great. But if you need help, go out and seek help from your mentors and coaches, and I'm sure they will be more than happy to help you monitor and evaluate your progress. Yeah. Okay. So going back to our example, so this is how we have split apart our tasks, our subtasks. We're given some deadlines and milestones, status, and some remarks. Okay. Now, if you see, delayed due to travel desk. Okay, some of them are pending. If you look at the alcohol permission, and those are pending. We have yet to do those tasks. Some of those have completed. It could be that we have completed but delayed due to travel desk. Okay, maybe the tickets have been booked but they have not been yet shared. So these are some ways we are looking at the evaluation mechanism, right? So this helps us to quickly check, right? I put my deadlines, and maybe every week I will sit down and look at or the team will sit down and evaluate all of these tasks and monitor them. So we have decided as a team that every Friday evening from now till October, we will sit down and evaluate the progress made, and then see where we are, how are we, what are the tasks we are stuck in, and then possibly work towards removing those bottlenecks. Yeah. Okay, there is a small typo in the travel book flight tickets. This should be not saying completed. It should be saying pending or not yet done. And the remarks are delayed due to travel days. Maybe because of the current situation, the flights are not available for that location. So we are still waiting for the travel desk to give us a book tickets for all the participants. So maybe this is the reason why this is still delayed. So this is like a dashboard you have. And I'm sure many of you are familiar with what we call as a dashboard. A dashboard is like a full action plan dashboard for the goal, right? And as things start happening, this dashboard gets changing into, as we say, you can color code it also from a red, yellow, and green. And the reds are something which you have to work upon. The oranges are in progress, and the greens are done. So that's where you can have a kind of a dashboard for your goals, right? And you need to come back to this dashboard on a proper time frame, whether it's weekly or monthly or as per the goal also. Yeah. Okay. Any questions here? Again, have I been able to give you a clarity on the fourth part? Any thoughts? Any questions? Again, plan, do, check, act. Yes, Nitin, absolutely right. Any questions here? Anybody? Okay. Before I just end our session with some additional tips. Clear? What if we miss our deadline? Nandini, absolutely right. At least we know that we have missed a deadline. Many of us don't even know because our deadlines are not there. So we need to evaluate, why have I missed my deadline? Okay, what was it, because of my own procrastination, or there was an external factor, right? And then I take a actionable, or it could be that I have taken a too sharp a deadline, the deadline was taken which was not realistic. Remember, going to a smart plan. Maybe I've taken such a sharp deadline that it was not realistic, and that's why I missed it. So maybe I need to go back and reevaluate and give a realistic deadline. Right? Sometimes it could be because of it was a realistic deadline because of external factors. I'm dependent on that. Like for example, the booking flight ticket, external travel desk. I thought I have enough time, but travel desk is not yet responded. So maybe I'll have to then take actionable to ensure that I give a fresh deadline and I take action so that I get the external support. Yeah, very important. Yeah, thank you, Mahesh. Now, the same kind of thing which I would really want you to do for your goals and for your targets and for your objectives, right? The way we have just broken this down. Yeah. So it's very important that going again, it sounds like a very complicated process. It is not. It's a very step-by-step progress. It's a very simple step-by-step planning tool which will help you to plan and execute and achieve success of anything you want in your professional career and to a large extent in your personal space also. Yeah. So please try to use this as much as possible in how, if you want to achieve certain goals in life, this planning tool will really help you to strengthen your planning skills. Yeah. So that's just a last bit about I would like to share is about some tips to keep in mind. Now we have technology to help us. So a couple of things which I like to add here is add all deadlines to your Google Calendar so it serves as a reminder. Now we have the benefit of technology. We have the benefit of either Google Calendar or Outlook Express has also those facility. You have your project management tools which are available to you. Oops, I think I got disconnected. Yeah, sorry guys, I think I got disconnected. Okay, my apologies. I'll just put the, am I audible? Am I visible? Okay, great. I'll just quickly share my screen again. Yeah, am I visible? Can you see the presentation? Okay, great. Sorry if I think there was some technical glitch. I'm back. Okay, so as I was saying, use technology because we have a lot of smartphones available to all of us. So use technology as much as possible to help you in your planning and help you in your milestones and help you to see your progress. And the last one I was talking about is the Hofstadter law, which means that always keep extra time. Okay, as we all know, as per Murphy's law, if something is going to go wrong, it will surely go wrong. If something has to go wrong, it will surely go wrong, right? So it's very important that we, always in our planning stage, always takes, if something is going to take say 1 week, put one more extra week. Okay, always have extra time so that remember, it always takes longer than you think. Yeah, some of the key tasks always, especially for the some key tasks, always keep a little longer deadline. Okay, so that's a couple of tips over and above what we have discussed. Yeah. Okay, so just to end with one more quote by our own Dale Carnegie. Okay, he's like someone who's very inspirational, and he very simply said, "An hour of planning can save you 10 hours of doing." Okay, again, very very important for all of us to realize that this is the kind of impact planning has on our goals. The more you can plan, the more time you can give to planning, the lesser time you will have executing it. Okay, so that's